Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the First 15 Accountability Party, coming to you live every Monday morning from 9 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with intentional professionals. My name is Melinda B. Powers. Hello and good morning and welcome, 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 welcome. So, what we do here is every week we find a way to be accountable and to show up in community and share. Excuse me. And it is my hope that this call grows and grows and grows, maybe beyond time zones, maybe beyond this country. I'm in Florida in the United States, but I really want to encourage everyone to find a space where you can be accountable without judgment so that you can become a better person. You don't have to do that in isolation. All right, so let's go on and get into it. This part of the call, the first 5 minutes, we talk about our wins from the previous week. And I think for me, my win from last week was just basically holding it together. It was a tough week. There was a lot of challenges. I did a lot of hard work, but I also had to navigate some murky waters relationship wise. And I had to get more centered so that I could start fresh this week and not be discouraged by some of the things that happen. And that can be tough. We have to find balance. And so I use my weekend just to recharge and refresh and to get centered. And sometimes you have to do that. You can't just plow through whatever you're going through. You have to give yourself a chance to rest, maybe to think, to reflect, and to plan your next move. So that's a lot of that is what I ended up doing. But being able to center myself, I got the blog done from that I should have done last week. I'm going to make up this week as well. It was a tough time. So sometimes we have to give ourselves grace to get caught back up and not beat ourselves up for falling behind. So if you're in that boat too, hello, and just try to give yourself some grace so that you can get back on the horse. All right, I don't see anybody chiming in. We usually have some comments by now. Hey guys, I hope everyone is well. Um, just gonna keep talking. So the second 5 minutes, I'm gonna transition a little early since we don't have anyone commenting. The second 5 minutes we spend doing a bit of a pep talk. It usually will come from that week's blog. I blog every Monday, and I use that topic as the topic of conversation in the middle of the call, just because sometimes we just need to hear a little something, remind us of some things that we already know that we just needed to hear again. Or maybe it might be something new. Every now and then I may be dropping something on you that you hadn't heard before. So this week, the blog, it was about self-esteem. The title is Self-Esteem Belongs in Business. And I feel like in my observation, experience, and research, it gets overlooked a lot as a topic of conversation. I think it kind of is like a given, and it's something that we assume is just there. If you're in business, then you just have it. And that's not the case. I encountered that a lot as a consultant with the SBDC, where sometimes clients didn't have it. They weren't sure, and they had a lot of self-doubt and were not really confident that they were doing the right thing. And that can really be debilitating when you're trying to start a business from scratch, or even if you buy a business and you're taking over from someone else. You're not the owner that other people knew. So you have to find your place, and you have to build trust in those relationships that are already existing to make that business successful. So what I wanted to focus on more with the self-esteem talk is that there's this awesome book. It's The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. Maybe see here. And I use this book as part of the foundation of the Intentional Professionals Masterclass digital course. And in that module, I talked about the 6 pillars of self-esteem. But there's a section in the back, and it's about self-esteem in business. And I love what he talks about. And this book was written in 1994. So some of you, like me, were in middle school, maybe high school. And he was talking about how rapidly the world was changing and how business was changing because of changing technologies that had changed faster than they ever had in history. Now, I found that very curious because you could have that same conversation right now with AI and all the different technologies that we're experiencing that are rapidly growing and multiplying and into at an exponential rate. Actually, it's a little mind blowing, especially if you come from an era like myself where you remember life before the internet. So the same thing he was saying in 1994 applies today, is that we have to learn how to harness these changes in this technology, and but we're going to have to find a way to do business differently. And I think COVID showed us that, for a long time, many employers did not believe that work could be done from home. They thought it was basically impossible. And we learned that that's not true, especially with all the gains that happened over that time. So the world of work is changing. People want hybrid schedules. Not everybody wants to go into an office every day. And so we're seeing that happening. It hasn't really solidified yet, I don't think. I think it's still a little loose and it's not quite firmed up, but we are going to have to imagine a different way of working and doing business. Otherwise, we're going to have some trouble moving forward into a new era that's not centered around manufacturing, that's not centered around being in an office space or doing a lot of hands-on work. He talked about how, migrating from more of a blue collar to a white collar centric workforce. And we're definitely looking at those issues right now. People are very much concerned about AI taking their jobs, and it's less about them taking their jobs. And I talked about this before and blogged about this before, but it's going to be more about how you learn to work with the AI. The folks that learn how to work with AI and understand it, the prompt engineers and such, they're going to be the ones that stay employed and that find other opportunities that don't currently exist or that are just developing right now. So I just want to encourage you to find your place in that. If you see that your industry is being affected by this, it may be time to think more creatively or figure out how you can skill up or make a lateral move that you didn't consider making, but that makes sense for you and where you are. So just trying to be a little creative. We definitely need more creativity. I think that we can't just keep going by the old way. I don't think it works very well anymore. And when we can admit that and decide to make different choices. And I know sometimes we are not the ones that have the power to make the decision, and that can be hard when you know something is not working, but the people that are in control insist that you continue to do it that way. That could be really tough. So it's going to take some courage. Some people are going to just have to step out on their own, take leaps of faith, and just say, hey, I have an idea. I know it's good. I know it's sound. I think it could work, and just go for it. And you may not succeed. It's fine. Failure is part of life and it's part of business, but at least try. And I mean, definitely don't put yourself in a detrimental situation if you can help it, but definitely be a little more bold. Try being a little more courageous, and it could actually pay off. No risk, no reward. But you need self-esteem to take risks. So that's kind of circling back to the self-esteem conversation. Healthy self-esteem allows you to accept criticism, to take challenges and failures and turn them into opportunities for growth. And it's just a very unique thing that if we can't harness it and really learn how to use it to our advantage, it can devour us. And I think that we have so many talented people that I think is so much to mine from, just all of the creativity and the ideas and the brain power that we have collectively. We can bring that together. We could be so much more effective. So I just want to leave that with you, planting a little seed there for whoever might be listening, that you might be that person with that idea that you may have had for years and you haven't executed on. This might be the time. This is a very right time to plant some seeds and see what blooms from that, because this is unprecedented. This is the first time we've ever been here. And you just have to go for it sometimes and take a chance. All right. So we're going into our last few minutes, and that's what we call our me time. And so with the me time, me, like we, it stands for most impactful item. So me time is your opportunity, if you're new here, to set your goal for the week. Something that if you did it this week, you would feel like you hung the moon, you accomplished everything you needed to accomplish, even if you did other things that were important too. But it's got to be that thing that's really going to mean something to you if you get it done. And I'll start. For me this week, I think that solidifying some new relationships, new client relationships that I've established, getting those in writing and ready to go is going to be my goal this week. I have two of those that I'm working on. I'm very excited to work with some new clients. Oh, there we have Errol. Hi, Errol. You're catching us at the end. That's okay. Share a win if you got a win from last week, and then share it. We're in the me time right now, so you can share that too. I was just talking about my me time is doing some onboarding type work for two new clients that I have secured over the last week or so, and that's going to be my focus for the week. Let us know what you're working. I know you got that honey-do list. Did you get the stuff done last week? What's going on this week? Just let us know in these last few minutes. But yeah, the me time is important because I think sometimes we can get stuck in a rut where we have a lot of plans and we have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that we want to complete. But let's be honest, when you're in isolation and no one else really knows what you're thinking, it gives you a bit of a pass not to really do them or say, okay, I'll get it done next week. And then I'll get it done next week. Okay, well, I'll get it done next week. It gives us too much leeway to not be accountable if we're not going to hold ourselves accountable. And the people around us aren't going to say, hey, you've been saying this for a month. What's going on? So if we don't have people like that in our lives, that's what this call is designed for. Because I mean, I may not be remembering every single thing that is contributed on the call, but every now and then I might say, hey, what happened to blah, 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 or how's this going? And that's what accountability does. It helps you get to that point where if you're not there all on your own, it helps you get to that point where you don't feel like other people have to do that and you can just do it for yourself. But that takes practice, especially if you haven't been really heavy into that for a long time. Some people are just more oriented towards that, and that's okay. But some people aren't, and it's a skill you have to build. It is something you have to work on. So I want to help people do that. I want to build community here so people feel like they have a place to go where they can celebrate their wins, whether they're large or small, and they can come and say, hey, okay, I got this crazy idea. I want to execute on it. So I'm going to tell this group and I'm going to keep showing up so that I can report the progress that I make. Or you may be stuck. This is also a place where you can say, hey, I'm kind of stuck on this. What do you think does anybody have any resources? Like, that's what community is for. All right. So Errol says he is reading a new book. Oh, we love books over here. Okay. Philosophy on Fatherhood. Nice. Yeah, Stoicism is really cool. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on Stoicism. So that's awesome. And I love the idea of using books as ways to learn because it's probably like the easiest way to self-study anything. You can find books on just about everything. And you just have to stay committed and get the reading done. I am actually going to be reading. Oh, that's another me time I could have given, but I am in the process of studying for the Six Sigma Green Belt, and I have to read the study materials, which are pretty lengthy. It's going to take me probably about a week to tackle the whole study guide. So that's another thing I'm working on, but that's probably going to be a better me time for me is completing that reading before this time next week because I need to complete the reading so that I can get prepared to take the exam. I want to get that done before the end of May. So thank you so much, Errol, for sharing. We are in our last 30 seconds or so. Do you have a me time for the week? Is it finishing the book? Is it something else? Let us know. But we're going to be wrapping up very shortly. Thank you so much for joining, whether you're catching this live or on the replay. We appreciate you being here. And I'm going to be here every week, Monday morning from 9 a.m. to 9:15 Eastern Standard Time for an accountability party we're going to liven it up a little more. I want to bring some elements to it that make it more party like. But in the meantime, keep showing up. I'll keep being here. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week and happy Monday, everybody. Bye.